I did not watch the trailer for this movie, so I had absolutely no idea what to expect, but when I walked out of the theater, I had one simple reaction. What the actual fuck? The Substance tells the story of a once popular celebrity who is having a hard time coming to grips with being an aging star who is not as popular or as sought after as she once was. It's when she reaches the point of desperation, she is feeling low as low can get, when she decides to try this black market drug that promises to make her a better, younger version of herself. On the surface, it does seem like a miracle drug, but it does come with some very specific rules, and those rules end up leading to some of the most disturbing and gruesome gore I have ever seen in a movie. The Substance stars Demi Moore, Margaret Qualley, and Dennis Quaid. I want to start out right away by saying that Dennis Quaid was clearly having a great time playing this obnoxious buffoon of a man who really should not be judging anyone on their looks and their beauty, and yet that is the position that he has. He frequently has food in his teeth, he's brutish, he's repulsive, just unattractive in every single way, and he really sells this personality so well. I mean, I don't think he's really like this, obviously. This is acting, but man, this guy, awful, just an awful person. He plays a producer who is in charge of a major TV show that is a fitness TV show, actually, which really seems like it would take place in the 80s, although I think this movie is actually a present day movie. His character really illustrates just the hypocrisy of beauty standards and how toxic and damaging it can be to focus so much on cosmetic things like looks. And as awful as he is as a person, and as horrible as it is to shame somebody for getting older, that is unfortunately the world we live in. We put such high standards on beauty and appearance, and this movie really does an excellent job reminding us of that. Demi Moore plays the aging celebrity Elizabeth Sparkle, who has realized the world no longer thinks that she's pretty, and she feels desperate to have that feeling back. She wants that time in the limelight back. She wants to be popular. She wants to be sought after. It's something that I think a lot of people can probably relate to. It really is an extremely demanding role, both physically and emotionally, just all around, and she really does a fantastic job in this movie. Margaret Qualley plays the younger, better version of Elizabeth, and she goes by the name Sue. No last name, just Sue, because when you're so hot and you're so pretty, who needs last names? She starts off seeming like a nice person. Beautiful, smart, ambitious, but eventually her greed and selfishness begin to take hold, and she starts demanding more and more time in the spotlight. Part of the rules with this serum is that they have to alternate every 7 days who is walking around, who gets to live. But eventually Sue decides that she wants more and more time, which leads to some surprising results. You might not realize it when this movie first starts, but this movie is a body horror movie for sure. And it's a damn good one, by the way. And I would not call myself a fan of the body horror genre. I generally just don't find it entertaining to be grossed out by stuff. And yet it's a very popular genre that people really cling to and really love. And this movie shows a lot of love and appreciation to that genre. The director Coralie Farge really knows how to capture the grotesque, using not just visuals, but also audio. Some of the most disturbing stuff in this movie is not even the visuals. It is the way the sound is captured for certain things. It really tries to gross you out, and it frequently happens in this movie. There's a scene in the beginning of the movie, and it's also in the trailer. It's Dennis Quaid eating shrimp, and not only did that scene just look so nasty, but it sounded disgusting, and it really made me not want to eat cocktail shrimp anytime soon. The cinematography and sound all elevate this movie and are used as characters to help tell us the story of greed, selfishness, and just the way we treat beauty. Like I said, I did not know what to expect when this movie first started. I did not watch the trailer for this movie. I read a brief description, but mostly I walked in not knowing what to expect. And when I walked out, actually probably even before I walked out, maybe during the third act, I was muttering, "What the fuck?" so much that I think that would actually be a suitable title for this movie. What the fuck? If you're going to watch this movie, you need to have a strong stomach because there is a lot of gore that takes place in this movie. It is very nasty. There's lots of blood. There's lots of guts. And it is just a very disturbing movie. But disturbing visuals aside, I think this movie has a message and a very important one. And sure, this is a strange movie to get that message from, but getting the message out is what's important. We do overemphasize beauty in this country. In this world, we put a lot of pressure on people to look a certain way, and that is just not fair. I think we should all try to be healthy, so I don't think we need to walk around being morbidly obese and unhealthy in that way because it can just shorten your lifespan and hurt you in the long run. But you don't need to have a six-pack. You don't need to have big double D boobs to be pretty. What matters most is the kind of person you are and what kind of energy you're putting out into the world. That's what I think this movie is trying to tell you, and it's using blood, guts, and gore to do so. For me, this movie is an 8.5 out of 10. I had a very hard time coming up with a score for this movie because I am not normally into body horror movies, and I really just felt so conflicted because it was extremely good, but at the same time extremely gross and not necessarily my first genre. But that being said, I do think an 8.5 is a great score for this movie. So did you guys see this movie yet? If you did, please put your thoughts on this movie in the comments and let me know. If you liked this video, please hit the like button, and if you want to hear more things from me, subscribe to this channel. Later.